Hi friends, today I am going to review the book, Lean Change Management: Innovative Practices for Managing Organizational Change by Jason Little. The Lean Change Management Cycle. Whether you call it a model, a method or a process, the Lean Change Management Cycle directs organizational change through three recurring, non-linear stages: insights, options and experiments. Being feedback-driven means gathering input from your organization's management and staff to create a change plan. Understand the dynamics of your organization by collecting insights with a variety of tools from different communities. Begin by leading your business transformation in small steps. Involve the people who will be most affected by the change. They need time to digest what's happening, so break down big organizational shifts into smaller pieces. You can't plan how people are going to react to change, but you'll know how they will respond after you present information in incremental steps. Collecting insights. Assemble information that helps you to understand what is happening in your enterprise and to detect possible obstacles to change. Gather insights using practices or tools that help you grasp an overall situation. Try as you may, change cannot be controlled. Such tools can include information radiators, large, readable wall displays that explain all the complications of a change. For example, an information radiator might display what one department of 300 people does. Use sticky notes to post the department's activities and flow. Alter it progressively as the department implements changes. Place an information radiator where everybody can see it and use it to represent your team's progress visually. This can replace weekly emailed newsletters or status reports. Lean coffee. Lean coffee is an alternative approach to running meetings. Rather than having the boss talk all the time, team members take ownership and drive the agenda of a themed meeting. A lean coffee meeting spurs open dialogue among the people most affected by a change. Facilitate the session by taking these steps. 1. Set up a whiteboard with 3 columns: to discuss, discussing, discussed. 2. State the meeting's theme and asks participants to write questions on sticky notes. 2. Make sure people have time to write all they want before collecting the notes. 3. Post all questions on a wall. 3. Remove duplicates and merge similar items. 4. Read unclear questions aloud and ask the authors to explain them. 5. Have participants vote on which question to discuss first. 5. Put the winner in the discussing column and all other questions under to discuss. 6. Start the group talking about the issue. 6. Set a time limit, say, 5 minutes. 6. When time is up, participants can vote to add another 2 minutes or to move to the next question. People are emotional creatures, and that emotional response is a sign that change is happening. After every phase of a project, gather your team together to reflect on what has worked and what hasn't. Lead an agile retrospective, which opens with the question, are you happy, sad or mad? Conduct agile retrospectives with different teams and compare results. For example, ask staff members first and conceal their results before asking managers. Compare data and give management insights into how the staff feels about the ongoing change. The powerful perceptions you garner will make the change management process more transparent. ADKAR. For a more formal approach to collecting insights, follow the ADKAR method, which ensures that 5 conditions supporting change are present. Awareness. Those involved recognize the need for change. Desire. They want to take on the transformation. Knowledge. They know how to make change possible. Ability. They support the change. Reinforcement. They will stick with it over the long run. Urgency for change emerges through honest dialogue between people with different points of view. ADKAR is a popular assessment tool that comes with a survey. You send out the survey, collect it and analyze the answers. To make your organizational shift a success, you need to meet all 5 conditions. Once you send out the survey, people will start wondering, what is happening? That's when you know you've embarked on the change journey. Generating options. Consider your available choices for introducing change. Hypothesize about how each option could benefit your company. Training and development must support your firm during this process, but consider other avenues as well, such as blogs, newsletters, coaching and mentoring. Ask the miracle question to encourage solution-focused thinking. It works like this. Imagine going to sleep one night and awakening the next morning to realize a miracle has happened. Ask yourself, what changed for the better? Focusing on solutions rather than problems might seem counterintuitive, but you want to get people to consider what is possible rather than what isn't. Remember that many people excel at finding reasons why something won't work. Lean change management moves the slider for managing change from using plan-driven approaches to feedback-driven approaches. Generating and assessing options is part of the lean change management cycle. During this phase, dream about the future you want and stop worrying about what you have now. When you ask the miracle question, remember that all answers, even dumb or pointless ones, are valid. People develop creativity when exposed to views that differ from their initial assumptions. When your brain tries to reason through even impractical choices, you review your beliefs and inherent suppositions about the problem. Create a bag full of varied possibilities, then systematically assess each one. The cost, value and degree of disruption. Use 3 parameters to evaluate your selections: cost, value and degree of disruption. Plot your choices on a graph showing cost on the horizontal axis and value on the vertical axis. Use a red sticker to highlight the paths you think would be most disruptive to your organization. For now, abandon high cost, low value and highly disruptive tracks. You can always look at them again later in the project. People have a way of fighting through the pain of change when they want the outcome badly enough. All options come with a cost, whether it's the time you spend working on change, a plunge in productivity, or the new capabilities you and your employees need. For instance, when you arrange to run a series of lean coffee meetings, the cost will accrue mostly in terms of the time you invest in setting up the initiative, running the sessions and analyzing the data you collect. Blast radius. Consider using tools that help you dig deeper into assumed high-cost options and their value. Imagine your change as an explosive that creates a blast radius after implementation. To use this tool, gather your team in front of a whiteboard and brainstorm on the consequences of change. Write a choice, such as instituting new training, on the board and add the departments, people and roles that will feel a direct or indirect impact from that change. Use sticky notes to sort through the stakeholders. If you're doing change management in your office with the door closed, you're doing it wrong. Heather Stagiel. To create a map of your blast radius, post the notes of those directly affected close to the change initiative and the notes of those indirectly affected farther away. Add directly or indirectly affected processes on notes of a different color. Highlight the location of the riskiest parts of the change and consider how each aspect touches everyone differently. Sphere of influence. Think about what factors influence your proposed change. You will know some of the people involved and they might be easy to persuade. Others will be less accessible to you and your team, so you must win them over through their contacts. Lean change management is about fundamentally changing how we think about change. To depict your sphere of influence, map the suggested change at the bottom of a whiteboard or flip chart, then list the stakeholders you know and those you don't know. Differentiate among people who will be more supportive and those who might be less so. Draw lines between individuals to show how they and you can connect. Some of those who support the change will become your change agents. Depicting your sphere of influence gives you a feel for how easy or difficult the change will be, a key factor when deciding how to initiate it. Conducting experiments. Test your priority options with trial initiatives that introduce a change. Ideally, conduct these tests one at a time to maintain stability in the organization. Process helps make sense of change, but blindly following a process is a recipe for disaster. An experiment is another way of saying you are implementing a degree of change, step by step. When conducting an experiment, follow the prepare, introduce and review sequence. Start by planning your experiment. Use an improvement canvas, or a one-page change plan, as a visual aid. Ask, what problems are you trying to solve? What are your underlying assumptions about how successful your change will be? Use this template for creating hypotheses for each experiment. We hypothesize by implementing this change, we will solve this problem, which will have these benefits as measured by this measurement. Trying to apply a structured change process is one of the causes of change failures. Be explicit about what you want to achieve in each experiment. Use simple language that everyone can understand. Rehearse writing down hypotheses, you will improve with practice. Check with team members before you launch the experiment. Ask if your hypothesis is the right one. Review your planned experiment with the staff members and managers who will be affected. Measuring experiments. Determine how you will measure and validate the experiment's success or failure. You can verify progress by checking and confirming that the experimental change is shifting your organization closer to its intended goals. If you get harsh reactions and staunch opposition, reconsider the structure of the trial. Once you finish your testing, follow up and review its outcomes. Choose from the following options for gauging experiments. 1. Qualitative measures. These results provide an indication of how the project is going. 1. For example, ask your team to raise concerns about the project's progress. 2. Quantitative measures. This feedback often comes from surveys. 2. An example could be the Net Promoter Score, which asks respondents to rate, on a scale from 1 to 10, how likely they are to recommend the outcome of the change project. 3. Leading indicators. These measures show advancement toward a goal. 3. For example, you could use the Happiness Index, since happier people are more productive. 4. Lagging indicators. These measures track outcomes after a change is complete. 4. Examples include project metrics and team self-assessments. People are more likely to support a change when they have input into its design. Leave an interval between your experiment and when you measure results. Often, people need time to adopt change. Help them value continuous change over radical alterations. That's also why your change initiatives are experiments. You can't predict the exact outcomes. More change frameworks. To work within other change management frameworks, consider 1. Kotter's 8 steps. View this outline as a recipe for successful change, but don't worry about following the steps in a specific order. 1. Just make sure you use all the elements by the time you're done. 2. McKinsey's 7S. This model looks at the interconnectedness of the 3 hard factors of strategy, structure and systems, and the 4 soft factors of shared values, skills, style and staff. This framework is less linear, but it mirrors the nature of change management. Disruptive innovation is good. Disruption for the sake of disruption is not good. These 2 additional frameworks give you big-picture directions that you can apply to any change management challenge. Equipped with all these tools and models, you can commence your journey. Old-fashioned tactics recommend creating a specific procedure and sticking to it. Lean change management suggests first garnering insights and letting them shape your process. Takeaways. 1. Embark on your change journey by embracing the lean change management cycle. 2. Collect insights, generate choices and conduct tests. 3. Use discussion tools such as information radiator, display boards, lean coffee, questions and an agile retrospective, results analysis. 4. Make sure that your people are aware of the need for change and that they desire it, know about it, have the ability to support it and will reinforce it sustainably. 5. When generating choices, consider what is possible rather than what isn't. 6. Ask the miracle question, when you get stuck. If you were to wake up in a new and transformed world, what would have changed for the better? 7. Evaluate the cost, value and degree of disruption for each change option. 8. Map a sphere of influence that depicts how, and how much, you can sway others. 9. Conduct trials by implementing incremental change. 10. Measure your outcomes using the Net Promoter Score, the Happiness Index, and team self-assessments. We hope you're doing well. We wanted to reach out and ask if you could like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are trying to grow our audience and your support would mean a lot to me.